Hello everybody. Welcome back. Once again, my name is Nobuide, the CEO of Wacom. So I'm broadcasting from the Tokyo venue, connecting 2021 from Copper Stage. Thank you for joining us once again. So for these sessions, we are going to talk about our evolutions of human input and inking experience together with Windows 11 ecosystem. So I'm so excited. I'd like to invite today's guests and panel talk members. First, I'd like to introduce our Heidi. Heidi one.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. A bit voice is echoing. Are you okay? Okay,
Sure,
great.
let's fix it.
Voice is echoing, but okay. All right, we'll continue. So thank you, Heidi. So everything's okay for you? Where are you? You're muted. Can you hear me?
Now I'm back.
Okay, great.
Should be fine now.
Yeah. All right. Where are you?
I'm in the office, in the Düsseldorf office,
Oh, it's
Germany.
super early morning or late at night or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. So Heidi.
But again, hello to everyone.
Yes, great. And Heidi, let's welcome the super great guest today together, right? So, hello, David-san. David-san, Microsoft. David-san.
Hello, Ide-san. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Oh, good evening. David-san, everything's okay there?
Everything's great here. I'm here in your Portland office. Got a beautiful view outside, seeing Mount Hood coming up here over the clouds, and just really excited to be here today.
Great, David-san. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Connecting 2021. Yes, our session just started, David-san. What are you going to talk about today?
Well, last year, unfortunately, I couldn't attend Connected Inc. in 2020 because I was so busy working with the team on Windows 11. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've done to evolve human input and inking in Windows 11, and I'm going to show a few cool demos of what we've been up to.
Wow, fantastic. David-san, welcome back to Connected Inc., right?
Thank you so much.
Next year, you have to be on site, right? In Tokyo venue.
I hope so. I really hope so. I would love to be back in Tokyo again with you and the team.
Thank you, David-san. All right, so let's go on. So, David-san, so could you briefly introduce your inking experience story from your side?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tony, next slide, please. So one of the things I want to show is talk about what the evolution has actually been in Windows 11. And there's two parts to this. So one is about how Windows 11 now adapts to you and how you're using your PC. And the second aspect I'm going to talk about today is around how Windows 11 provides tactile feedback as you're interacting.
Great. Wow. It's a very hot themes, and it's, almost right after the Windows 11 introduction. So it's so exciting, we can hear the very deep story from you, Dev-san.
Absolutely, it's pretty fresh. I have so many things I'd love to show you. I'm so excited today, but I'm gonna only have time for a few. So I'm gonna show you some of my favorite features in Windows 11.
Great. Great, Dev-san. So your showtime, let's go on.
Perfect, so the first thing I talk about is how Windows 11 adapts to you. So you, me, Heidi, we're all really serious pen and touch users. So there's three new parts of Windows 11 I want to show off, which is how Windows 11 adapts to your posture, how the UI is dynamic, but also I'm going to show a new feature called Wake on Touch. I'm also going to show for productivity how you can move and resize windows now with touch, and that's gotten even better in Windows 11. And then lastly, a feature called Dynamic Refresh Rate, and I'll show that and talk about it a little more during the demo. Okay?
Gorgeous. Let's go on.
So let me turn my camera to the demo here, and I'm going to show this stuff right off the bat. So let's see if everything shows up here. This is my brand new Surface Laptop Studio, my new favorite device. So the first thing I'm going to show you with this device is when I convert this device by pulling the screen forward to get more immersive, you'll see the icons all got larger, so they're now more touchable. I'll put that back so you can see in laptop posture, a little bit more compressed for mouse usage. But when you bring it out for touch mode, suddenly the icons are larger and more touchable. The next thing I'm going to show you is around window resize. So here I have a normal File Explorer window. When I go to move the window, you'll see that it actually becomes a bit of a thumbnail and then shows you with the glass, this beautiful acrylic around it, that it's being moved. And when I let go, it pops back into its full size. The same is now true also for window resize. When I grab the edge of a window, you see a little bar that's showing me I've gotten the edge of the window. So now you have this confidence that you're able to resize the window with touch, and you don't need a mouse for doing any of these kinds of operations anymore. The other thing I'm going to show is I'm in this posture where I normally would keep it for if I'm watching a movie on the airplane, and I may put the device to sleep. What's awesome now is I can actually wake the device from touch. So I'm here, and I'm back up and running. And with Windows Hello, I'm right back at the desktop immediately. Again, no keyboard, no mouse, all built for touch and pen.
Wow, great experience, David-san. Wow.
I have one more thing to show you, which is dynamic refresh rate. So this is super cool. This is a document that I have up on my screen. And what's really, really cool is that for scrolling, even with the touchpad, it is buttery smooth now. This is a 120 hertz display, and we are running the display at 120 hertz whenever you're scrolling in Office documents, be it with the touchpad, be it with touch, or even with pen. And when you're done scrolling, you're using an application, and you're back to the desktop screen, we're then switching the display refresh rate back to 60 hertz to give you the maximum battery life for your device. So we're only running it at the high refresh rate when you can take advantage of it, when you have a cool scenario like scrolling. Even more important is inking. Inking is even smoother than ever, and I'm going to show a little demo later on of what we've done with ink in Windows 11.
Wow, so it's kind of an optimized dynamic refresh rate depending on which use case, right?
Exactly.
Great.
Next slide, please. So the next part of my talk I want to share with you guys is around what we've done with tactile feedback. So I'd love to talk more about haptic precision touchpads. This is a new thing we've done in Windows 11. I can show a little screenshot here where now if you have a haptic touchpad compatible with Windows 11, you can control how intense that haptic feeling is with a new slider we've got for actually controlling what we say touchpad feedback intensity. And this is part of Windows 11. But really what I want to talk more about today, Ide-san, is around haptic pen. This is super, super exciting and something we've been working on for many, many years. Next slide, please. You may ask, what is a haptic pen? Now, this is a great question. When we're trying to reproduce the feeling of pen on paper, there are different approaches to this. One approach is to try and give the screen some friction by adding coatings to it. But the problem with that is it's not really dynamic. So if you're using a pen or a pencil or a highlighter, it's always going to feel the same based on whatever that screen coating is. What we have done is develop feeling in the pen itself, and that feeling can be dynamic based on the type of inking tool you're using. The way that we're doing that, and I'm holding the new Surface Slim Pen 2 in my hand, is we've actually put a haptic actuator, considered a very miniaturized motor, between the electrostatics in the nose and the button here on the barrel. This little haptic actuator vibrates to produce these various feelings, and we do that by driving different waveforms. Think about like audio waveforms that are driven into this motor to give those various feelings. We do this to give you the friction and feedback of all these inking tools like pen and pencil, a chisel marker, a highlighter, a paintbrush, an eraser. But we also do it to give you some discrete feedback, little notifications like, hey, you were successful at this, it was recognized, or maybe give you an error that you're out of bounds on an inking canvas. All of that is now possible by this haptic pen. And I wanted to show this little picture here of the development of haptic pen at Microsoft. It's been a long journey with our applied sciences group. It's been 5 years in the making of various prototypes to get to this incredible miniaturized piece of technology that gives this feeling now in your hands on any Windows 11 device.
Wow, David-san. So is it really okay to disclose this photo? It's showing your great journey of the Microsoft teams, right, for innovation.
I'm happy to. I like to, it's an honor and a privilege for me to tell the story on behalf of the team of how we got here.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time you're seeing anywhere in the pen ecosystem this type of experience. it's truly a game changer where you're going from just thinking about things like latency and being able to mimic how close you are to pen and paper, but now to give you the feeling of pen and paper is just something revolutionary.
Wow, thank you for sharing this, David-san.
Well, Ide-san, Wacom has been an important part of how we're bringing this to market. So next slide, please. What I'm going to show is actually the platform we have built in Windows 11. So, what was keeping me busy to not be able to attend Tech Inc 2020 was building this with the team. What we've built is a platform that enables any kind of application on Windows to take advantage of haptics with a haptic pen. It could be a Win32 application, a traditional legacy Win32 application, a UWP application, a web application. All of these types of apps can now take advantage of haptics. But we wanted to make sure that right out the gate last month when we released the product, there'd be a lot of great places to use the pen and basically feel haptics in those inking surfaces. So what we've done is we've actually wired in our direct ink platform into the haptic APIs so that every direct ink app is automatically enabled for the haptic experience on Windows 11. So that means if you're using sticky notes, you're using Office, you're using the Snip and Sketch experience, all of your favorite direct ink apps are automatically opted in and get the haptic experience right off the bat in Windows 11. So we're really excited about that. What you're also seeing at the lower end, in the hardware stack, is we've done a lot with the pen itself and how we do our pen protocol. What's really unique about what we've done with the haptic pen is it uses two-way communication. There's an uplink between the touchscreen and the pen. And what we do is we use the touchscreen to calculate the velocity, how fast the pen is moving, to change the feeling of haptics as you're making direction changes with the pen and to adjust the speed of the pen based on how you're using it. So this is really, really, really cutting edge tech to be able to actually change how haptics feels based on what the user is doing on the touchscreen.
Wow. So it's almost like a whole ecosystem, right? Protocol, hardware platforms, and including, I saw our name over there.
Oh, absolutely. I won't steal Heidi's thunder. She's going to have something really cool to show a little bit later with the Wacom Will platform. But Ide-san, you hit the nail on the head. Next slide, please. It definitely is. It takes a village. So we've been working, obviously with Microsoft Pen. We have a lot of partners that work with us to really bring this experience to life. But what's amazing about the haptic pen work is that we've been building this in secret. But based on our tight collaboration and relationship with Wacom, we talked to Wacom about this very early in this year. So about 9 months before release, letting our secrets out of the bag to basically discuss how we would lead the industry together here to bring haptic experiences to life. So we really appreciate the partnership with Wacom as the world's leading pen manufacturer to help us bring these experiences to as many customers as possible.
Yeah, thank you, David-san. We're so honored to can drive their innovation for new experience together. Yes, as a part of the ecosystem of Windows. And also thank you for putting our logo a little bigger for this page.
No, it's been an incredible journey working with Wacom. I mean, I think to myself, when I look back on how many years we've been working together, and I look at something like the Bamboo Ink pen, which has been one of the most wildly successful universal multi-protocol pens in the retail ecosystem, and I'm just dreaming of the next version, the next generation of Bamboo Ink, when it may bring haptic technologies to as many customers as the Bamboo Ink has done already.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Next slide, please. So what I'm going to show is a little quick demonstration of haptics. So I don't know if this is going to get picked up on the video. You can maybe be able to hear it, but let's switch this over here. Here I am in Microsoft Word, and as I'm making edits with my pen, I'm actually feeling the friction of this like a ballpoint pen on paper. I wish I could, I wish I had the pen in your hand so you could actually try this and feel the experience here. As we switch tools and you feel that, oh wow, as you're changing direction, to feel almost like you're digging into the paper as you're turning that corner. It really is incredible and just brings a whole new realism to the inking experience on Windows.
Yeah, David-san, I can feel the haptics. So. Yeah.
Now, a little bit beyond just the Microsoft Office applications and what we've done with all the directing apps, I want to make sure I turn it over to Heidi, because she's got some exciting stuff to show as well with regards to what Wacom has been doing with our haptic pen platform.
Yes. So let me continue the ecosystem story with the perspective from software, what we call Ink at Wacom. So under the umbrella Wacom for Developers, me and my team are really building Ink technologies to deliver this experience. And this is really complementary and running together with all the pen innovations driven by Wacom together with partners, also like Haptics. Our goal is really to deliver a human, intuitive, natural experience using pens, using ink in a very consistent way across different platforms, and also to make ready. I think next generation ink technology, we're also utilizing more technologies like AI or security to also helping users to create new workflows from the native natural pen input to ink expression, but also to value-added services. So our goal is really to build an ecosystem, to continue the ecosystem idea of ink applications that is able also to deliver this new experience. And the world of apps, and I think, David, you showed nicely on your slide, is expanding from conventional apps that runs on devices, one after another, but also more towards a coexistence to web-based applications, especially when we are all transforming our lifestyles towards remote working, collaboration. So web apps has become also in a very strong relevance. And for that, we have used the Haptics Pen API to show, to express the experience you have shown on the Microsoft apps, also in a web application. Yeah. So if you show, so you can see my screen. I have this in the second camera here. You can see we have built an application using the Will technology that is called Ink Designer. And it's a web application. It's a simple website where with the Haptics pen, I'm able actually to write. And same as David said, I can't show you the haptic feeling because I can feel it in my hand. So whenever I press the icon, so I can feel the response. And whenever I write here, hello collected ink, I feel if I were writing on a natural piece of paper with all the friction and the tactile feeling. So here, really building ecosystem with consistent experiences, co-running with pen technology innovation. And for this, I want to give back to Nobu your view, also how you see also pen innovation can continue together with ink innovation.
Thank you, Heidi. Yes, I can feel haptics actually. Yes, so we're working, as Davidson mentioned, from Wacom perspectives. We're so excited to drive the innovations from hardware perspectives and software perspectives, apps layer, and we definitely working for this haptics experience for hardware-wise also. I hoped I can show you something today here on the stage, but all our engineers working on for the the POC of the haptics things. And actually last week I just felt that it's really good, and I think we are going to communicate with our industry communities starting from the next year, or targeting to have some their driving innovations of experience together with Microsoft. So this is also completely aligning with Wacom directions. Like we composing a lot of our communities, like a digital stationery consortium or universal pen framework, is kind of targeting very consistent and universal and intuitive experience for end users. And I think this implementations of haptics, their experience is really great milestone, and we are working on right now. I hope our engineers, instead of watching these sessions, they are working for their samples on their rooms. Yeah, Heidi. So we are working very hard. Great. So it's a great introduction by David-san, Microsoft directions, and I think we showed a very good alignment from Wacom perspectives, hardware-wise and application-wise. Where we are going for next, David-san? Do you have some their image or?
Absolutely. I think that when we met together five 5, 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and we're discussing, how can we unify the pen ecosystem to ensure that customers have a very easy experience finding a compatible pen that just works on their device. I see that story continuing. I think the work that we've done together with UPF, with the marrying of multi-protocol pens, I think now the next stage is to incorporate haptic technologies and other premium features into that universal story such that it builds on that foundation to still continue to give customers a great experience at retail and with compatibility, but now to give them these delightful experiences that get them closer to the real world pen and paper experience.
Definitely, great point, Davidson. Yes, we have been working very closely for last years, trying to have some very consistent story and consistent experience for the users. And Heidi made a great job for the Bamboo Ink, the universal pen, which Microsoft and Wacom are working so closely and also communicating this story together, right? And Haptics. Now Haptics comes. So their next stage or upgrade experience, more value-added experience we are working on. So Heidi, how do you think from the Bamboo Ink, our universal pen perspective? Do you have some image for our next step?
Yeah, maybe I recap where we started. And I think what we achieved together in this partnership is from end user point of view, what totally makes sense. So I pick a pen, Bamboo Ink, for example, that is really bringing all the pen technology work together, and it works on any Windows ink-enabled devices. So that's really a great milestone. And next step is really how we can expand this, as Nobu, you already mentioned, meaningful workflows, value-added experiences. And one topic is definitely, for example, AI, using AI technology. And I think David is showing a wonderful picture here. This is actually part of our innovation path also, working together, but not only just ourselves, between the companies, but also involving developers, involving startups and innovators to join the journey to find new features and new use cases using ink at the end. And I talk about AI. I think one of the value add we can see clearly is, since our technology, pen and ink, can capture more than just the visual expression, it can deliver the feel, as we discussed on the haptics, but also it can capture the context and the progress, how something was written, on top of the recognition, what was written. So I think a great use case here, and a nice picture, and brings a lot of memories back. A couple of years ago, where we talk about how we can revolutionize and create new use cases in education using ink, pen, and of course AI-based technology, really to support like adaptive learning that is meaningful for the individuals, to really reflect the context, how things were done or task or writing style, to a meaningful support for teachers, for example, and parents, to help the kids to build these skills on the subjects like handwriting, like mathematics, like many, many, many subjects. Yes. I think the opportunities is endless.
Great point, Heidi. Yes. So our technology innovation direction is, of course, the use case-wise, as you mentioned, educations and creative workflow, they're across all the use case. But in the bottom line, we're trying to capture the human being's context or some trajectory process, journey of the creation of the journey of a learning experience, right? And so our digital ink technologies and our hardwares and our ecosystems, from all aspects, we're trying to capture this contextual, things. And I think haptics is going to be great, important factor, playing the very important role for these directions, right? So there, David-san, how do you think, these days, of course, when we started our touch and pen story, we studied the creative workflows and their annotations, note-taking, and many, many, new use cases are emerging, right? Digital transformations in all workflow. In Japan, we call DX, digital transformation, DX. So any kind of your image from your side of this, like a digital transformation contributions, to the
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, yes, I think about the three pillars, around hardware and how we're trying to drive that to be the closest to the pen and paper experience. when we look at what software has
Oh, maybe we lost David-san a little bit. Yeah. I can feel his passion. I can feel his energy, but the image was a bit frozen. All right, so I think he's going to come back. So yeah, so I think he's going to log in again. So Heidi, yes. So I think the Microsoft Wacom's from use case perspectives, it's a variety. It's not just for the business, right? Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's really also here so multifaceted. So it can be for business, but can be for education, as I shared before, for creators, but for sure for everyone. I think that's the goal, really, to deliver a consistent, natural, and value-added, meaningful experience.
Yeah.
As use your words, for the human, right? For the human being, that makes sense for them.
Yeah, totally makes sense. That's one of the great reasons, from Wacom perspectives, why we are engaging, with the ecosystem, right? So
Right.
we just cannot deliver the brand new experience or innovative experience. So as we are working together like this with in the ecosystem partners and joint technology innovations, joint technology development, so that will bring the new experience, right?
I want to touch base a little bit on partners, because
Yeah.
you mentioned this. I think partners is the most important piece here, and partners are industry partners, as David showed in the previous slide, but also, like you see here, even startups, students, users really thinking about, okay, how can we create new experience together? And this is, I think, partnerships is very, very, very important.
David-san, welcome back.
Hello.
Can you see and hear me again?
Yes. Yeah. We can, don't worry. We keep feeling your passion and energy, so no worry. Okay. Well, yeah, so why don't you continue a little bit? Yeah.
No, I was sorry you couldn't hear me. Yeah, I was saying about when Wacom and Microsoft, we really work together on three pillars. On the hardware front, trying to bring everything as close to pen and paper and provide that the realism of experience. On the software side, that's really where the magic is coming in to produce these experiences that are very personal. From everything from how we capture the fidelity of the ink stroke, pen ID being able to come and play an important role here in personalizing the ink. And then we look at the third pillar around cloud and AI, and that's really where the true magic comes in. Being able to provide those building blocks for digital transformation, being able to go from the creative and messy to the organized and structured. And I think that's really where you're going to see a lot of our future investments in from Microsoft is really around applying those AI technologies to ink to make sense of the messy.
Yes, great description, three pillars. Heidi, maybe a short comment about this third pillar for their AI things a little bit, how we can work with Microsoft for their platforms-wise, digital ink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. I think starting from Will, and this is really the foundation, I mean, say technology, where we start to integrate more and more of the pen experience APIs, like the Haptics API. But going forward, we would like also to research and discuss together how we can integrate more and more of the AI services from Microsoft to connect this with our ink data. And our ink data, as I mentioned, is very rich, so it has a lot of sensor information to capture the context, like dynamics, how you write sequences, timestamps, pressure, how to also express, for example, like confidence or stress level, or even in general, your cognitive state, right? So particularly here, we would like really to explore together with David, you and Microsoft team, to think about like how we can bring together both worlds, right? From input experience point of view that is more human, but also how we can utilize more of the advanced AI technology to complement this. And the word I always use is complementing, to upgrade and to add value at the end to the end user.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So I think time is going to be up. So David-san, any final short comment from your side?
It's just great to be back at Connected Inc. And when I look at this timeline of all the innovations we've done together, it's just incredible to think. I think you and Heidi and myself, I see the three of us in so many of these photos. Can you believe that it's been well over 10 years now, almost 12 years we have been working together to really lead this ecosystem together. And I just want to say I'm really thankful for the partnership. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, David-san. All right. So thank you, Heidi, right? And David-san, downstairs party is going on, so let's join with some drinks and show must go on. Okay. All right.
Good.
So Heidi, David-san, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the audience online. And the show is going on. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.